Hello! In today's video, we're going to be going through bus routes, which is LeetCode problem 815. So this is a hard problem, and it states you are given an array routes representing bus routes, where routes index I is the bus route that the I bus repeats forever. For example, if you have route 0 equals 157 means that this bus travels 157 forever. So you're going to start the bus stop source, and you'll want to go to the bus stop target. So return the least number of buses you can travel from source to target, and return -1 if it's not possible. So example 1 states routes 127 and 367. So source is 1, target is 6. So the output here is 2. So you're basically, source is 1. So you're going to hop on this bus, 127. Then you're going to take this to stop 7. Then you're going to go on this bus at stop 7 and take it to stop 6. So the answer is 2. In example 2, your source is 15. Target is 12. So you get 15 here, 4 and 5. 4 and 5 do not exist on any other buses, and we also have a 15 here, which only has a stop at 19, which doesn't exist on any other bus. So the output is -1. All right. Let's see how to code this. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to initially capture each bus and their routes. And then we're going to loop through, we're going to hop on one bus and get the routes there, and then we're going to add that to the number of buses, which is the value that we're going to return. So you have to have at least one bus that you get on. And then we'll continue to loop through the other buses and try and find the route that exists in the initial bus, and then also the route, the target route. And unfortunately, this is a lengthy example, so a lengthy solution. So hopefully you don't get asked this in an interview. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is create a map, and this is going to be integer. It's going to be the bus number. So in this example, it's just basically 0, 1, 2 are going to be the bus numbers, and then the list of integers, which will be the routes, or the bus stops, basically. I'll call it bus routes, new, and I'll instantiate it. I put comments in this just because it's a lengthy solution. So we need to make a list of all the buses and their routes. So we're going to do int I equals 0, less than the route's length, I++. Now we're going to do, so this is the bus number. So now j equals 0, j is less than routes I dot length. So this is the actual stops of the bus. So basically, bus routes dot, and they have a put if absent. So it's only going to add this if it doesn't exist. So we're going to put the bus stop I sub j, and we're going to add that as a new array list. And then we have to record the bus number. So we're going to basically get the value that we just added, and then add I, which is the bus number. And that will get a list of all the buses and their routes. Now, let's move on. So now we need to do a hash set, an integer, I call it visited bus number equals new hash set. So this is basically going to be the list of, or the buses that we have taken. And then we're going to do a queue integer of bus stops, which is a new linked list. So this is going to be all the stops that we've made, that the bus has made. So here we go. So the first thing we're going to do is visited bus number, add the source. So this is going to add our initial, the source. So basically in that first example, we got on at stop 1. So it's going to add that. And we don't have any buses yet. This is the return value that we're going to do, number of buses. And while visited bus number is empty with the exclamation mark in front of it, so when basically this reads if the visited bus number is not empty, which it isn't because initially because we just added the source to it. So we need to get the size of the bus numbers, basically how many bus stops there are. And then we're going to go through each of these bus stops. So int I equals 0, I is less than size, I plus plus. So we're going to pull out the first stop. Int stop equals visited bus number dot pull. And I don't drives me nuts. I don't know why they spell it this way, but maybe I'm ignorant. I don't know why it's not P-U-L-L, but whatever. All right, so we get the first stop. So if the stop equals the target, we return the number of buses. So basically, you need to check for this every time, because let's say the first bus you get on has the stop and the target. So then you can just return one bus. Get list of buses that have that stop. So list integer equals bus numbers, bus route, get the stop. So basically we're going to pull out the first stop, and then we're going to find all the buses that have this stop. And finally, okay. So for int number in bus number. So now we need to loop through the bus numbers here. So add the bus number to visited only if it doesn't exist yet. So basically, if visited bus number contains the number, so let's say the first bus is bus 0. If it contains 0, we're just going to continue because we've already visited that, or it's already in the list. Otherwise, we're going to add it to the list. All right, so now, after we add it, we've got to get the routes of that bus. So J, routes of bus number 0, length plus plus. So we add the routes to the queue. Bus stops add routes number J. And that will add all the routes. And that closes that out. We're going to close out. We're just closing out a bunch of stuff here. So this is our initial size loop. And then when we get all the way through that, we're going to increment the number. This is the number that we're returning, so we'll increment that. So once we get through and add all the buses and the routes, and we don't have a source equal to target yet, we're going to say, okay, well, we've got one bus that we're on currently, and we don't have a target yet. We haven't reached our target. And while bus stops is empty, we'll close that out. And then if we get all the way through there and the source never equals the target, then we're just going to return -1. And yeah, this is the end of the entire method. Okay, so let's look at this in a debugger and see if it doesn't make more sense. Okay, so I did the first example, 127 and 367. So basically, source is on, and target is 6. So basically, we're going to get on this first bus, and we're going to get off at stop 7, then we're going to get on the second bus, and get off at stop 6. So let's see how this works. All right, here is our integer list of integer hash map that we create. So we're basically just going to go through, initially we're just going to go through here and add the bus routes. So bus routes, put if empty, bus routes, get. So we have, basically we just added bus 0, the first bus, and then we're going to get, okay, yeah, sorry. We added the first stop. Now we're just going to, so we now have two buses, two routes. We have our two stops. We have the stop at 1 and the stop at 2. And then we're going to add the bus number. And finally, so now we have, let's see, the bus. Yeah, I lost my bus routes. New hash map, size 3. So we have 1, 2, and 7, which is basically the first bus. and its routes. So now we need to do the second bus. So put if absence. Okay, so size equals 4. What's, okay, 3, 6, and 7. So 3, we add the 3, add this. So now we've added 1, 2, 3, 6, and 7. So now you'll notice here we've added bus route size is 5. So you see we added 7, but the size is 2. So we've got two buses that will stop at bus stop 7. So that's basically what we need, is all the stops and all the buses, and the buses that have those stops. So that is our bus routes hash map. So this is the visited bus number and the bus stops. Okay, so initially we're going to add the source. So now bus stops just contains 1, just contains the source. Number of buses is 0, so bus stop is empty, not empty, which this is true because we just added the source to it. Okay, we need to get the size. The size is 1, so int I equals 0. I is less than size, I plus plus. Okay, so we're only going to loop through this once because we just have the one stop. So we're going to pull out the stop, which is 1. The source is equal to target, which is not true. So now we need to get the bus numbers. So we're going to get the routes. Let's see, in your bus numbers. So bus numbers, yeah, we've just got, basically we got bus 0. So the list bus numbers only has one bus, and it's bus 0. So now we're just going to loop through each bus, which in this case is just 1. So visited contains number, which it doesn't. So we're going to add that. So visited bus number just has bus 0. So now we need to add the routes of bus 0. We'll loop through that. Okay. So bus stops. Whoops. Okay, so bus stops, we just added 1, 2, and 7. This is the first bus and all its stops. Now, that's the end of that bus. And we've got one bus. So basically we boarded, where is it? The first bus here. 1, 2, and 7. So we have one bus. And, okay, now the bus stops is size 3 because it has a 1, 2, and 7. We recorded the stops of the first bus. So in size is 3. So now we're going to loop through all these stops here. And we need to determine if our stop is on this bus, the bus that we are currently on. It isn't. The first example, or the first time through is not, because stop is equal to 1. So we're going to get the bus numbers, and we only have, again, bus number 0. So if it contains, it just continues because we already have the visited bus number. 0 is already in the list. Okay, so now we're going to go through the second stop, which is stop value 2. Does not equal the target. We're looking for a target of 6. So we're going to get the bus numbers. Again, this is just, bus number is what? 0. Size 1, yeah, okay. So visited contains, it does. So finally, we're going to do the 7. Get the route. Visited contains. So that's basically the first time through we get, it's kind of redundant because we get the list of routes that are on the bus we're currently on. So you see here we actually had 2 because number 7 is on, stop 7 is on both bus number 0 and bus number 1. So we're going to add that. Now our visited buses is 2, 0 and 1 for route 7. Okay, so now we need to go through and get we need to get the routes for that second bus that we just, bus number 1. And so we're going to do that. And now we have 367, which is the second bus. All right. So now we've got 2 buses. All right. And we're on this second bus now, the bus number 1. So we'll get that size, and we're going to start going through. So we'll pull out the 3 is not equal to the target. So we're going to get the stop there, which is the 3. So now we need to loop through the bus number 1. And visited bus number is already in there, and so we're going to go through all the way back to the beginning, and we're going to pull the number. So now we have stop 6. Well, stop is now equal to the target. So we're like, hey, now we can return, and that's our answer. So we have result is equal to 2. 2 buses. Oh, that was a doozy. So let's run this through LeetCode and see what we get. It's accepted. Submit. Faster than 46.82 and uses less memory than 56.39. Okay, so that is how you do that problem, and hopefully that was understandable. Let me know if you have questions, and thanks again for watching.